Hey, this is Michelle, and I want to take a minute to show you what my local real estate app can look like. Now, of course, this can be tailored specifically for you and your real estate market and your brokerage. So keep that in mind as we look through. This is an app that I created, and you'll notice the very first thing that you come to, there will be a splash screen that the prospect will see, and that can be a graphic that we can create to be anything where it's welcoming someone or giving them some kind of special information. And then once that splash screen comes up, it's kind of like a loading screen. So as soon as your app loads, it comes to the next screen, which is going to be this screen. You'll notice that it's asking if someone wants to join your mailing list to get exclusive updates. Now, this can be worded how you want, and they have the option of saying yes or no. If they click yes, then they get set up into an autoresponder system for you so that you can keep them up to date on what's going on in the market. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to click no. And then here you come to the main home screen, and you'll notice that you are the star. When someone has downloaded your app, it gives the information about you, who you work under, and maybe where the market is that you're dealing with. This can be designed any way that you want. Of course, we need to make it applicable to your state rules for however you're supposed to be displaying your information. But you can actually have any color background, whatever matches your logos, whatever matches your websites. It's perfectly tailored to you. This button here, call us, of course, when somebody selects that one, it goes directly to dialing whatever phone number you have loaded. So it could be your office number or it could be your cell phone number, which of course I suggest being your direct line. Now this feature is wonderful because it is a viral component on your app. When they click this, they can tell their friends to go download your app. So they could send it by email or Facebook or Twitter or text messaging. And maybe you could set up some type of contest that maybe something special that if they share the app on your Facebook page, you would give them something free as far as some type of tidbit of information or whatever. Maybe you could connect with a vendor to give you something to give away as part of a promotion on your Facebook page. So utilize the fact that this is a viral app, and people will help spread the word and help you market your business. Now we go back to the main page. You'll notice down here at the bottom there are these buttons. Now these buttons can actually look many different ways. They don't have to be this block of black background here. They could be white. They could be round. There's a lot of different ways that we could do this. So keep in mind that you can customize how you want this to be laid out. The and also what order these come in can be customized also. I like the fact that somebody can actually use this to calculate what their mortgage payments would be. This just gives them a rudimentary approach to it. Of course, it's just your principal and interest, but it will help them to decide, uh, if a house is going to work for them. And another way that you can utilize this is during negotiations. You can help a buyer understand that a couple of $1,000s more on an acceptance price on a house or property will only add a few more dollars to their monthly note. So this is a great way to kind of help them during that process. The next screen, of course, I think is the most valuable for a buyer is the search screen. Now this will be set up so that it can search your IDX so that it pulls up the information for your MLS in your area. And that way, when people are out looking around, they have your app on their phone and then they can search those properties directly from their phone. The next feature is Map It, and it's going to ask you if it can use your local location. And you'll see that I have all of these are selected, so it's going to show all the different colored pins. If I only wanted to highlight where the schools were, I can deselect those. So when a buyer is out looking at homes, they can actually find out where the schools are in proportion to where the houses are. And so this is a good feature. One of the ways that you can monetize your app and actually make money off of your app and cover the cost of having the app is to charge businesses to be able to advertise their business on your mapping of your app. So let's say you have a couple of different restaurants in the area and you want to charge them, say, $20 a month just to have a pin at their place so that it kind of highlights it. And when you click the pin, it will actually bring up information so they could click the information or they can click directions on how to get there. So that's a good feature when you're dealing with restaurants, gift shops, attractions in the area. You know, here we could select the food items, and so as you see here, I have a couple of different places. One's a Mexican restaurant and one is a po' boy restaurant. So those are just an example of different businesses that you could have on this food tab. And then if we click the transit or the attractions tab, maybe you have your city government buildings, you know, places that are of interest. Maybe there's, like we have an Amtrak station, so maybe you want to put the Amtrak station or an arboretum or something that is an interest. Maybe you live close to where there's an amusement park, um, you know, water slides, all kinds of things. So there are different things that you can put under attractions, or we can even change the wording on this to be something totally different. So if you come up with something that you want to put on your mapping, and maybe connect with some vendors in the area to charge for them to have a pin on your map, then we could do that. Okay. Now when we click this More button, you'll see that this brings up many more options. The one I like, really, I think the most usable for a buyer is the notepad. See, somebody can come in and let's say you meet a client or a new prospect out at a property, and they're looking at things and they're starting to notate some things in their mind. And while you're out there, you can say, hey, download my app, and that way you can have this feature of a notepad. Not only that, but you can search properties. But while you're out there, while we're looking at this house, you can make notes of what you like and what you don't like about the property, and maybe some things of concern or maybe things that you would like to ask for if you were to make an offer. And so you can type in whatever the note is, okay? And then of course it'll list the different notes here. If we go back here, you'll see there's the Events tab. That can be any of the upcoming events. You can help, uh, you know, just give people a little information about the community. It just keeps information out there. And the whole purpose of the app is to generate that community feel, and you want to keep people, even if they have purchased a home from you or property from you and they're not out looking anymore, your app is still going to be useful for them. And that's what's really important, is being able to bring them back to it and they can find out what's going on in the area. So you're basically a good form of information for them. And if you keep in front of them, then they're going to refer people to you. All right, let's go to the next section, which is the buyer's guide. This could be anything. You could have a report about how to be a first-time home buyer, what to look for as a first-time home buyer. Maybe your niche is investments and you work with investors, so maybe you can have a report here for investors. This one in particular is just a buyer's guide, and it's a PDF file, so you can actually scroll through. It's 38 pages, and it goes through things like, you know, why buy instead of rent and that sort of thing. So that's really a nice thing to have for people to read. Now, if you have a blog, this is a link to your blog, and you'll notice that this blog is actually a mobile-friendly blog, so it's going to have features that you see it goes right into the post itself. You want to make sure that everything that comes on here is coming in a good mobile-friendly way if at all possible. Now, updates is where you can actually communicate with the people who have your app downloaded by sending a push notification. This is priceless, let me tell you, because I've dealt with systems like Monster Follow Up that has text messaging servicing, and it can cost you anywhere from $100 to $200 a month just to have the feature to be able to send text messages out in a blanket form, so you do like a broadcast. This is included in the app. you get to send out an unlimited amount of push notifications every month. So if there was a new piece of property that you wanted everyone who had your app downloaded to know about, then you can notify them about that. And the sweet thing is that they don't have to have your app open in order to get that message. It comes through as a special message on their text messaging on their phone, just as if one of their friends had texted them. And it actually shows, there's a little icon that shows up, as far as I know on my Android phone, it shows a little the little icon of your app, that there's a notification on that app for you. So how can you use this? My goodness, this is many ways you could use this. And you can actually use this in your listing presentation to help sellers understand that you are going to market their home by push notification out to everyone who is looking in the area. So that's one of the many valuable features of this app. And we go back to the screen here, and we're going to go to featured homes. Now this can be one home in particular, or this could be a list of homes that you want people to look at. So say you let your sellers know that each month you pick a special listing to be the featured home, and if they list with you in the next couple of days, then you will put their home as the featured home on your app. Okay, this is a site that I have. Whoops, I've moved it. This is a site that I have for a particular piece of property. So you can actually go through and look at this page, and it's a blog, and so it pulls up very nicely in the screen here. It's a mobile friendly blog. Now if we go back and we look at the next option, it's the YouTube option. Now if you're not using video in your business, you really need to get started, because video is really where things are being focused right now in the marketing world. And videos are priceless. You can advertise your listings. You could have maybe some buyer seller tips. Your YouTube channel, when we set this up, we set it up with just the channel that is yours, and all of your items that are on your channel show up right here on the YouTube link. And you can see you can actually click it and go in and watch this video. Now it's taking a moment to load, but you get the idea. When you go in here, you'll actually be able to play the video. But let me also tell you that, when you go to YouTube and you watch a video, at the end it shows you other videos that are in relation to the topic, right? Well, you don't want people to do that, because YouTube may serve up your competitors' videos, okay? This does not allow that to happen. This actually pulls only your video. When your video's over, that's it. That they have to go back to your channel. So it really keeps people on your channel, which is a wonderful, important feature when it comes to a YouTube link. Now Facebook, of course, is where many people spend their time, so you definitely want to be able to connect through Facebook. This one in particular I set up for a Market Center business page, but you could have it go directly to your Facebook page. So that one, it's up to you whether you want it to go to your business page or your profile. And then of course we have the Twitter option, so people can actually join you on Twitter and tweet with you. And here is a section that can be real estate tips. This can be named anything you want. I have it linked to a buyer site, so it has different articles about buying a home. And then let's skip over coupons for just a minute, because I want to cover these other things, and then we'll go into the coupons because I have a lot more to tell you about that. Here in the gallery, this can be pictures from around your community. It could be special vendors that you want to highlight. It could be anything you want. This can be set up with the screen just the way you see it, or it can be set up as a slideshow. So there's a couple of different options there. And then the mailing list, that was that option in the very beginning that asked if somebody wanted to join your mailing list. Well, if they decided at that point that they didn't want to, but after using your app decided, well, yeah, I would like to get more information about coupons and different things about the area, then they can sign up for your newsletter. And this gets tied into an autoresponder account. Okay, the client wall is where clients can communicate and let you know how things are going and maybe talk to each other and kind of build that community for you. Testimonials is an option where someone can actually record a testimonial to be put up on your site. And keep in mind that you don't have to have all of these options. You can actually make it maybe a little more simplified. So maybe you don't want testimonials on there, you just want other things. So, we don't have to have everything that's on here. And this last option on the page is neighborhoods. And I've just set up a couple here just to give you an example. But you can have a list of all the neighborhoods within a specific area, or maybe the ones that your niche covers. So, or maybe if you're a condo specialist, you just have all the different condos. We can change it to be condos instead of neighborhoods. And then it has a list of condos, and you can have a link for each one and tell all about those properties. So this is a very useful feature. Maybe you can have covenants, that type of information. Now let's go back up to the coupons. The way that you could cover the cost of having this app and having the setup fee and the monthly fee is to sell advertising space on your app. And this is the way you do it, one of the ways you do it, because we talked about already the mapping feature. Well, here you could ask vendors if they want to advertise on your site and provide value to your buyers and sellers. And that's going to be key because this needs to be something that people are going to come back to your app for, even after they've worked with you and they don't need your services anymore immediately. Of course, they're always going to need your services. There's always something they're going to come up with. But this gives them opportunities to come back and be part of your community to get special things. And coupons is a wonderful way to communicate. This first one is just as an example is a restaurant. So at this restaurant, you can do a different picture. You could do the logo for the restaurant. There's a lot of things that we could do with the graphic behind this particular coupon. But if you'll notice, this is in 4 parts. Well, the person has to come in 4 times, and on the 4th time is when they can get their coupon redeemed. So this is great for vendors because this will bring business in their doors. And you can use that as a feature when they advertise on your app. So the people have to come in, and what they'll do is click the number 1 here, and you'll notice it says, please hand your device to the business representative who will stamp your card. So you remember those old little cards that they'd take a punch and punch out how many times you'd been there? Say you're a coffee shop and a person has to come in and buy 6 coffees in order to get the 7th one free. Well, you have it set up where we could do that for you, okay? So this particular place, you have to come in and hand it to the cashier or maybe the service manager, and they have to put a special code in here in order to stamp it, okay? And once they've stamped it, the selected amount of times, then they get to have that coupon available to them, and of course it would be redeemed at that time through the vendor. Great, great feature to bring people back into businesses and to keep your app in front of the buyers and sellers at all times. So that's the overview of the My Local Real Estate app, and I want to invite you to give me a call or send me a message and let me know that you're interested. And we're going to be including some training on how to actually market your app once you have it set up and it's live. The apps are submitted to Apple and to the Android market, which is actually called Google Play now. And that way you can get your app uploadable to an iPhone, an iPad, or an Android phone. And it also presents an HTML5 code so that it's useful online for people who don't have a phone that can do this. Okay, so they don't miss out on the coupons and the different features. So we're not limiting it just to certain people, but this opens it up to everyone. And through the training, you'll see that there is a QR code that is developed for your app. You could put that QR code on any of your advertising. so that people can just scan it and download your app from there, or you can advertise what the name of your app is if they'll go to the iPhone, the Apple iTunes market, or if they go to the Google Play, which is the Android market, and search for your app, they'll find it that way too. So I hope you've found the value in this, and look forward to talking to you about getting your app set up for your particular business.